in a film withheld from the public.
Now, you brought that film with you. Let's take a look at that if we can. Here's the film. Go ahead and narrate this for us, will you?
Well, it took me 16 years to find this film because it has really been withheld. And what you're seeing here is the motorcade on Elm Street passing in front of the book depository building. Kennedy has been shot in the throat, and Jacqueline is pulling him toward her, trying to comfort him, and she's in shock. At this time, you see the driver turn around with a pistol in his left hand, firing over his right shoulder, and shoots the president directly in the head.
Over 6 decades after President John F. Kennedy's tragic assassination, thousands of new documents have been unveiled. Do these files hold the answers we've been seeking? In a landmark move, the U.S. government has released approximately 80,000 pages related to the JFK assassination, aiming to shed new light on this pivotal moment in history. Join us as we delve into these newly declassified files to uncover what secrets they may reveal. Welcome to Inside True Crime Stories, where we dive deep into chilling cases, unsolved crimes, and the dark side of human experience. Join us as we uncover hidden truths and explore the twisted corners of the criminal world. Subscribe and join our growing community to stay updated on gripping cases. Let's get started. On November 22, 1963, the world stood still as President John F. Kennedy was assassinated in Dallas, Texas. This tragic event not only shocked the nation but also led to extensive investigations and widespread speculation. Today, we revisit that fateful day and the subsequent inquiries to understand the context of the newly released assassination files. The morning of November 22, 1963 began with optimism as President Kennedy embarked on a political trip to Texas, aiming to mend political fences ahead of the upcoming election. The presidential motorcade traveled through the streets of Dallas, with crowds lining the route to catch a glimpse of the charismatic leader. At 12:30 p.m., as the motorcade passed through Dealey Plaza, gunshots rang out. President Kennedy was struck twice, once in the upper back and once in the head. Texas Governor John Connally, seated in front of Kennedy, was also wounded. The motorcade rushed to Parkland Memorial Hospital, but despite medical chief theories emerged, suggesting possible involvement by the CIA, the Mafia, anti-Castro Cuban exiles, or even elements within the U.S. government. These theories were fueled by perceived inconsistencies in the evidence and the secrecy surrounding certain documents. In an effort to address public concerns and promote transparency, the U.S. government enacted the President John F. Kennedy Assassination Records Collection Act in 1992. Classified, further fueling speculation. The enduring public interest in the assassination led to ongoing debates and calls for full disclosure. Each release of documents was meticulously analyzed by historians, journalists, and conspiracy theorists alike, all seeking to uncover new insights or evidence that might challenge the official narrative. Now, with the recent release of approximately 80,000 pages of previously classified documents, we have an unprecedented opportunity to revisit the events of November 22, 1963 and the investigations that followed. These new files may offer fresh perspectives or corroborate existing conclusions, bringing us closer to understanding the full story behind the assassination of President John F. Kennedy. As we delve into these newly declassified files, we aim to uncover what secrets they may reveal and how they might reshape our understanding of this pivotal moment in history. The recent release of approximately 80,000 pages related to President John F. Kennedy's assassination has unveiled new details that deepen our understanding of this historic event. Among these revelations are insights into Lee Harvey Oswald's interactions with Soviet agents, the CIA's surveillance activities during the 1960s, and the KGB's assessment of Oswald's mental stability. One notable discovery within these files is a 1966 memorandum recommending a certificate of distinction for James McCord, a name that would later become infamous in the Watergate scandal. Before his involvement in Watergate, McCord was part of a CIA team conducting advanced technological experiments to detect hidden listening devices using fluoroscopic scanning and X-ray techniques. While the files confirm much of what was already known, they also provide additional context to Oswald's activities and the intelligence community's operations during the 1960s. For instance, the documents reveal that Oswald, who had lived in the Soviet Union and was monitored by both U.S. Assassination, has reignited public discourse, particularly concerning long-standing conspiracy theories and reactions from the Kennedy family. For decades, the tragic event of November 22, 1963 has been shrouded in speculation. Numerous theories have emerged suggesting possible involvement by the CIA, the Mafia, or other entities. The newly released documents offer fresh insights into these theories. Among the revelations is a 1967 memorandum referencing Gary Underhill, a former Kennedy family. The reactions have been notably divided. Jack Schlossberg, President Kennedy's grandson, criticized the release process, stating that the family was not informed beforehand. He expressed concerns about the administration's handling of the files and accused President Trump of using his grandfather's legacy for political gain. Conversely, Robert F. Kennedy Jr., nephew of the late president and serving as the Secretary of Health and Human Services under President Trump, praised the document release. He views it as a step toward greater transparency and an opportunity to uncover the full truth surrounding the assassination. This familial divide reflects the broader public sentiment. While some advocate for full disclosure to address lingering questions, others caution against potential misuse of sensitive information. As historians and the public continue to analyze these documents, the hope is that they will either substantiate or lay to rest the myriad theories that have persisted for over 6 decades. The release of these files marks a significant moment in the ongoing quest to understand the complexities surrounding President Kennedy's assassination. We've journeyed through the newly released JFK assassination files, uncovering fresh insights and revisiting long-standing questions. Now, we turn to you, our viewers. What are your thoughts on these revelations? Do you believe these documents shed new light on the events of November 22, 1963, or do they deepen the mystery? Share your perspectives in the comments below. Your engagement is invaluable, guiding us on what to explore next. Are there specific aspects of the JFK assassination or other historical events you'd like us to delve into? Let us know your suggestions for future videos. Stay tuned for our upcoming series, where we'll examine individual elements of these newly declassified files in greater detail. From the intricacies of intelligence operations to personal accounts previously hidden from the public eye, we'll provide in-depth analyses that you won't want to miss. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell to stay updated on our latest content. Thank you for joining us on this exploration of history, and we look forward to your insights and continued support.